There is a moment that happens in almost every social gathering, a moment that most people never consciously notice, but that shapes everything that follows. You walk into a room, a party, a meeting, a coffee shop, and within the first few seconds, before you have said a single word to anyone, something has already been decided about you. Some people walk into a space and everyone orients towards them. It is not their looks, and it is usually not what they are saying. It is something else entirely. By the time this video is finished, you will know exactly what it is, why your body gives it away before you speak a word, and how to switch it on in yourself in the 90 seconds before you walk through any door. Because the thing that makes a person magnetic is not a trait that they were born with. It is a state, and it is one that you can learn to drop into on purpose. You have met someone who had it. You could not tell me what it was, but you felt it in the first 30 seconds before they had said anything clever and before you knew a single thing about them. Something about being near this person made you feel settled. You leaned in. You wanted to stay in the conversation a little bit longer than the conversation strictly justified. And afterwards, if someone had asked you why, you would have shrugged and said something useless like, they just had good energy. Here is the thing no one tells you. There was not a personality trait. And it was not charisma in the way that we usually mean it. It was a physiological state, and it is one that you can be in, too. The single most magnetic thing about a person is not something that they do. It is not the right line, the right outfit, or the perfectly timed joke. It is the state that their nervous system is in when they walk into a space. And once you understand that, you can stop trying to perform your way into being attractive, which, let us be honest, has never once worked for anybody, and start doing the one thing that actually draws people straight to you. As per usual, there is something that you have to understand first. Do not skip this part because the rest might not land. So just stay with me for a moment. Your brain is a threat detection machine before it is anything else. Long before it decides whether it finds someone funny or interesting or attractive, it is running a much older, much faster question underneath everything. Am I safe with this person or am I not? That scan happens in a fraction of a second, completely beneath conscious awareness, and it never switches off. You do it to everyone you meet, and everyone does it to you. And here is what your brain uses to answer that question. It is not words. Words come far too late. It reads your body, your posture, the pace of your movements, the tension in your face, the rhythm of your breath. It is reading the state of your nervous system directly, and it is doing it in the first heartbeat of the interaction. Stephen Porges, the scientist who developed Polyvagal Theory, calls this process neuroception. It is the way your nervous system scans for cues of safety or danger in your environment without any conscious input from your brain. Your body is constantly asking, is this person a threat? Is this environment safe? And it answers that question before you have time to think about it. So when someone feels safe around you, or they feel off around you before you have exchanged more than hello, that is not them being mystical. That is their threat detection system reporting back on what your body just told it. A regulated nervous system says one thing clearly, without a word, you are safe here. A dysregulated one, rushed, tense, overeager, sets off the faintest alarm, and the other person leans back without knowing why. The writer James Baldwin observed that you cannot escape the knowledge that your life is a reflection of your state of mind. And your state of mind is reflected in your body, in your breath, in your posture. The people around you are reading that reflection before you even realize they are looking. Everything from here is just what it looks like in practice. The first thing that a regulated nervous system does is take away your need to perform, and this changes everything about how you land in a room. Think about what performing actually is. It is the rush to fill every silence. It is entertaining, over-explaining, laughing too fast, following up your own joke with 3 more in case the first one did not land. It is that slightly frantic energy of someone who is working very hard to be received well, and the tragedy is the harder you work at it, the worse it lands, because effort of that kind reads as anxiety, and anxiety reads as a threat. When your nervous system is settled, the compulsion just simply is not there. A silence opens up, and you do not panic into it. You just let it sit, because a pause does not feel dangerous to a regulated body. It feels like breathing room. You are not auditioning for the other person's approval, so you are not scrambling to earn it, and that ease is magnetic because it tells the other person something that their brain finds deeply reassuring. This person is not afraid of me, which means I do not need to be on guard around them. There is a lovely irony buried here. The person trying hardest to be interesting is usually the least magnetic one in the room, and the person who is content to simply be there, taking up the space without apology, is the one that everyone tends to drift towards. You do not become attractive by doing more. Half the time, you become attractive by finally doing less. I want you to consider a practical scenario. You are at a dinner party. There are 10 people around the table. One man is telling a story, and he is telling it well, but there is something slightly desperate in his delivery. He is rushing to the punchline. He is checking for reactions. He is filling every pause with more words because he is afraid of losing the room's attention. Another man, sitting quietly, is simply listening. He is not trying to compete. He is not waiting for his turn to speak. He is just present. When he finally does speak, his words land differently. They are not rushed. They have weight. The whole room leans in. The difference is not in what they said. The difference is in the state they were in when they said it. The first man was performing. The second man was being. One creates pressure. The other creates space. And space is what people want. It is what they are drawn to. The philosopher Lao Tzu, whose teachings have been studied for thousands of years, wrote that the highest virtue is like water, which benefits everything without striving. Water does not perform. It simply flows, and in its flow, it nourishes everything around it. When you stop performing, you become like water. You become someone who nourishes the people around you simply by being present. Now let us move to the second practical step. Watch a regulated person move, and you will notice something that you cannot unsee once you have clocked it. They are not fast. They are not slow in a theatrical, "look how calm I am" way. They are just deliberate. They are unhurried. Their movements have a settledness to them, as though there is no emergency anywhere and there never was. This matters more than it sounds because pace is one of the loudest things that your body says. Rushed, jerky, over-quick movements, that is the physical signature of a nervous system in mild alarm. The body is bracing, hurrying to get somewhere safer. And we read that instantly in other people, and we read it as either anxiety or a need to please, neither of which pulls anyone towards you. Slow, intentional movement that says the opposite. It says, nothing here is a threat to me. I have time. I am not scrambling for anything. And a body that is not scrambling is a body that other people trust. It also, whether you mean it or not, communicates self-worth. Think about how a person moves when they are desperate for a room's approval versus how they move when they genuinely could not be shaken. The reaching, the hovering, the slightly anxious quality of the first one against the grounded ease of the second. You do not have to announce your self-worth. Your pace announces it for you before you have said a single word, and everyone in the room has already heard it. Imagine this scenario. You are walking into a coffee shop. You are running late. You have 10 minutes to grab a coffee before a meeting. Your body is already tense, already rushed. You walk quickly, your shoulders are up, your jaw is tight. You order your coffee with a clipped tone. The person behind the counter does not know why, but they feel slightly unsettled by you. Now imagine the same coffee shop, the same timeline, but you take a breath before you walk in. You slow your pace. You let your shoulders drop. You order with a calm, even tone. The person behind the counter does not know why, but they feel slightly more at ease. That is the difference. That is the power of pace. The writer and philosopher Alain de Botton observed that the quality of a person's presence is often measured by the quality of their attention. When you move slowly, you are telling the world that you have the attention to spare. You are not rushing through your life. You are actually living it. And that quality of presence is what makes people want to be near you. This is the one that ties it all together, and it is the most important because it is the mechanism underneath everything else. Human beings are extraordinary at reading each other's bodies, and most of it happens without our permission. We are constantly automatically scanning the people around us, the set of their shoulders, the micro-expressions flickering across their face, whether their jaw is tight or loose, whether their breathing is high and shallow or low and settled. It happens in milliseconds, and we form a verdict about a person's safety long before we have consciously registered doing any of that. So a regulated nervous system does not just feel good from the inside. It transmits open posture, a face that is not braced, easy breathing, hands that are not fidgeting for an escape route. All of it is being picked up and decoded by every person near you. And all of it adds up to the same signal. You are safe with me, and there is almost nothing more attractive to a human being than feeling genuinely safe with someone, because safety is the thing our whole system is hunting for underneath every interaction we have. The psychotherapist and author Deborah Dana, who has written extensively on polyvagal theory, explains that our nervous system is constantly looking for cues of safety. When it finds them, we can relax, we can connect, we can be ourselves. When it does not, we remain on guard, distant, unable to form a genuine bond. When your body broadcasts safety, you are giving the other person permission to relax. And that permission is what makes them want to stay. This is also why you cannot fake your way there, and honestly, thank goodness. You can arrange your posture, paste on the relaxed face, tell your hands to be still, and if your nervous system is still jangling underneath, your body will leak it out anyway through 100 signals too small to consciously manage. The face might relax, but the breath stays high. The shoulders drop, but the eyes are darting around. Other people do not know what they are detecting, but they come away feeling that something just did not quite add up. The only way to look safe all the way down is to actually be regulated, which is annoying if you were hoping for a shortcut, and freeing once you accept that there is not one. The writer Fyodor Dostoevsky, whose novels explore the depths of human psychology, observed that above all, do not lie to yourself. The man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point that he cannot distinguish the truth within him. When you try to fake regulation, you are lying to yourself. You are pretending to be calm when you are not. And other people can sense that lie. They may not know what is wrong, but they know something is off. The only way to be truly magnetic is to actually be at ease. And that is something you can learn. So now let us get practical, because regulation is not a personality that you are born with. It is a state that you can drop into, and your body gives you direct access to it if you know which levers to pull. Start with your breath. It is the fastest way in. When you are activated, your out-breath shortens. So before you walk in, deliberately make your exhale longer than your inhale. Breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6 or 7. Do that for a handful of rounds. The longer exhale is not a wellness cliché. It directly tells your nervous system that the threat has passed and it is safe to stand down. 90 seconds of doing that can genuinely change the state that you walk in with. Then get out of your head and into your body, because regulation lives in the body, not the mind. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel the weight of yourself actually being held by the ground. Drop your shoulders down from wherever they have crept up to. Unclench your jaw. Let your hands hang heavy instead of fussing. You are not performing calm. You are giving your system the physical cues of safety so that it produces the real thing. The writer and philosopher Alan Watts, who introduced Eastern philosophy to Western audiences, once said that the only way to make sense out of change is to plunge into it, move with it, and join the dance. Your body is always dancing, always moving, always sending signals. When you join that dance consciously, when you regulate your breath and your posture, you become someone who can move with the rhythm of the world rather than against it. Here is a reframe that does the most work of all. Before you go in, shift your goal from being received well to being genuinely present. From please let them like me to let me actually see who is in front of me. The first goal activates you because it hands your entire sense of safety to someone else's reaction. The second one settles you because it puts you back in charge of your own experience. Presence regulates. Performance does the opposite. Aim for presence and your nervous system will follow there. Think about this scenario. You are about to have a conversation with someone you find interesting. You are nervous. You want to make a good impression. You are rehearsing things in your head, thinking about what you should say, worrying about what they might think. All of that anxiety is visible in your body. Your shoulders are tight. Your breath is shallow. Your eyes are darting. Now imagine you take a breath, you let go of the need to impress, and you simply focus on being present with them. You are not thinking about what to say next. You are listening. You are actually seeing them. That presence is felt immediately. It is felt in your relaxed posture, your steady gaze, your unhurried responses. They do not know why, but they feel more comfortable with you. They feel seen. And that feeling is the foundation of connection. Let us bring this all together. The thing that draws people straight to you was never a technique. It was never going to be found in a better line or a clever opener. It is the state you arrive in when you arrive. A nervous system that is not braced for a threat, telling every person near you in a language older than words that they are safe in your company. Everything we covered flows from that one source. You stop performing because a settled body has nothing to prove. You move with ease because nothing feels like an emergency. And your very presence signals safety because your body is broadcasting your inner state, whether you like it or not. You do not have to manufacture any of it. You just have to regulate and then get out of your way. The philosopher René Descartes, who famously said, "I think, therefore I am," was ultimately wrong about where our sense of self resides. It is not just in the mind. It is in the body. When you regulate your body, you regulate your being. And when you regulate your being, you become someone who can be truly present with others. The most magnetic version of you is not the one that is working the hardest to be liked. It is the one who walks in already at home in their own skin and lets everyone else feel it the moment you do. Regulate first. The magnetism takes care of itself. If you found this helpful, please like this video. Subscribe if you are not already. That helps me to make more videos for you, and I will see you in the next one.